Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is María Paz Azparren Legarre, and I am a researcher at the Public University of Navarra, where I do research about English as a foreign language teaching and learning and about CLIL. Today, I am going to present a study that I conducted recently, which is titled Catering to Inclusive Education in the English as a Foreign Language Classroom, Preserve Teachers' Beliefs, and for doing so, I will follow the traditional structure of our presentation. Recent times have seen the strengthening of inclusive education in schools all over the world. Education is a basic human right and the base of a more just and equal society, and every individual should have access to it regardless their cultural backgrounds, abilities, gender, or religion. However, integrating learners in the system may not be enough, and a shift in paradigm would be necessary for real inclusion to happen in classrooms. That includes a reconfiguration of teacher beliefs and their practices. Teacher beliefs play a decisive role in education, since they condition teaching practice. What teachers think, believe, and know influences their final teaching decisions and actions in the classroom. Beliefs can be shaped through teacher education, previous learning episodes, or professional experience. Teacher beliefs about inclusion have been researched scarcely in the English as a foreign language arena. For EFL instruction to become inclusive, a reconstruction of teachers' beliefs is needed first that leads to a change in the teacher's decisions and actions in the classroom. That belief reconstruction, however, may not be easy, since EFL teachers may be veteran professionals for whom introducing inclusive education implies venturing in new realms. Training the teachers, therefore, becomes a priority for making the learning of the foreign language accessible to all. This study aims to gain deeper understanding of what beliefs pre-service teachers may hold about inclusive education in the EFL classroom and the effect that a teacher education course can exert on them. Therefore, the research questions that motivated the study were: how do pre-service teachers conceptualize inclusion and diversity? What are pre-service teachers' beliefs about inclusion and diversity in the EFL classroom? What effects can a training course have on those beliefs? The context for this study was an EFL teaching program that was delivered by the researcher to students in the second year of the early childhood and primary education teaching degrees at a university in Spain. The curricular contents of the course did not take into consideration inclusion. However, the researcher considered that this information was relevant for students to become effective EFL teachers. So 3 two-hour sessions were devoted to working in the classroom on the notions of diversity and inclusion. 34 students participated in the study, of a total number of 52 students who were enrolled in the course. 21 students were female and 13 were male, and they were all between 18 and 23 years old. A questionnaire that delved about the participants' beliefs regarding inclusion and diversity in the EFL classroom was passed before and after the training sessions took place. The questions were the same at both moments to investigate the evolution in the participants' beliefs. 5 questions inquired about diversity, whereas 10 delved about inclusion and inclusive teaching practices in the EFL classroom. Data analysis was qualitative. Questionnaires were computed, and then participants' comments were organized and coded into 2 main themes and 3 sub-themes. Theme number 1, EFL pre-service teachers' conceptualization about inclusion and diversity. And theme number 2, EFL pre-service teachers' beliefs about inclusion and diversity. Theme number 2 included 3 sub-themes, which were challenges and opportunities of working with diverse pupils, previous learning experiences regarding inclusion and diversity, and inclusive teaching practices in the EFL classroom. Results about the way pre-service teachers conceptualized inclusion and diversity showed an evolution before and after the training. Before the training, two main trends emerged. Participants did not know what diversity referred to, and they considered that diversity referred to disabilities and learning the difficulties that some pupils in the classroom may have. However, after the training, results were homogeneous, and all the participants were able to conceptualize inclusion and diversity as the differences that we can see in the classroom. All pupils are different with different abilities, capacities, or cultural backgrounds, and we as teachers need to attend them all and integrate everybody in the learning process. Results about the beliefs teachers held about the challenges and opportunities of working with diverse pupils showed an evolution before and after the training as well. Before the training, two main trends emerged. Participants considered not compromising the level of the subject very difficult, and they considered that it was very difficult not to make diverse pupils feel different. However, after the training, three main trends emerged. Participants either considered that inclusive instruction does not compromise the level of the subject. They considered that meeting all pupils' needs and making learning accessible to all a big challenge. And they considered that being willing to make the effort of providing inclusive instruction was a challenge for teachers. Results about the beliefs pre-service teachers held about their previous learning experiences regarding inclusion and diversity also underwent an evolution. Before the training, participants commented that they had never experienced inclusive education in the EFL classroom when they were learners themselves. Therefore, they would replicate what their own teachers did in the absence of awareness of what diversity and inclusion are. However, after the training, participants were unanimous at considering that their teachers did not implement inclusive teaching practices. And moreover, they commented that they would not replicate what their own teachers did if they ever became EFL teachers in the future. The beliefs pre-service teachers held about inclusive teaching practices in the EFL classroom also underwent an evolution. Before the training, participants had never considered the idea of implementing inclusion in the classroom. And after the training, they were unanimous at considering that inclusive education needs to be implemented for learners to learn appropriately. And moreover, they were able to develop a sense of best practices that included teamwork, projects, or the promotion of multiple intelligences and different cognitive abilities. Now, moving on to the discussion section, we can see that the way pre-service teachers conceptualize inclusion and diversity supports previous findings that stated that teachers may not implement inclusive practices if they are unaware of what diversity and inclusion are. Regarding research question number 2, participants had never considered the idea of implementing inclusive instruction and still considered that diverse pupils were only those with difficulties in learning. Those beliefs had solid grounds on their previous learning experiences at school. The main tendency was to replicate what their own teachers did, a finding which is in line with previous research. Finally, regarding research question number 3, participants were able to undergo an inner process of reflection that allowed them to confront their preconceived beliefs about diversity and EFL teaching, and to rebuild them into new beliefs that both considered diversity and inclusive education in the EFL. This study has investigated pre-service teachers' beliefs about inclusion and diversity and the effects that a training program can have on shaping them. This study has also evidenced that teacher training seems essential for real inclusion to happen in the EFL classroom. These are some of the references I have used. Thank you very much for listening. You have been a wonderful audience.